Hi and welcome again to Cannon Fodder, the channel for transfer news involving only Arsenal players coming in and out of Arsenal AFC. So it's been more than a week now where we've known that Unai Emery has been appointed the new Arsenal manager, but there's not been any signings. There's been a lot of speculation, but at this point of uploading this video, I've not seen anyone who was signed on their dotted line. But anyway, before I get into that transfer news, there's a couple of news that I spotted on social network and on some news outlets. One of which involves Mohamed Salah and Sergio Ramos. Now this news comes out from the Evening Standard. So we know that Mohamed Salah was injured during the Champions League final with a tussle with Sergio Ramos. I use the word tussle quite loosely. But apparently, Sergio Ramos is being sued, or is going to be sued by an Egyptian lawyer. So let me just quickly read the news here. So it says that an Egyptian lawyer has filed a 1 billion lawsuit, 1 billion euros, against Sergio Ramos for the challenge which injured Mohamed Salah in the Champions League final. Salah was forced off in tears with a suspected ligament damage to the shoulder, which ended Liverpool's early dominance in Kiev, where Real Madrid went out 3-1 winners. Now, it says that initial fears for Salah ruled out of the World Cup. Jurgen Klopp did say at that point that he thought, oh yeah, Salah is out, definitely out of the World Cup. So lawyer Bassem Waba is keen to press ahead with the lawsuit, confirming his intention on Egyptian television. Ramos intentionally injured Mo Salah and should be punished about his actions, he claimed on Sada El Bara channel. I filed a lawsuit and a complaint to FIFA. I'll ask for compensation which could exceed 1 billion euros, which is roughly 873 million pounds, for physical and psychological harm that Ramos gave Salah and the Egyptian people. Now I'm thinking, why have we arrived at this point where a lawyer has taken action, legal action against Ramos? Why couldn't FIFA, preempt this and punish Ramos? It beggars belief. But you know what? Even the Judo Federation have said that that maneuver where you lock someone's arm under your arm and you pull them down is actually been banned, by the judo professionals. They give it a name, but you know what? Ramos, I'm sure, is not going to be arm-locking anyone anytime soon in any match. But that's one news that we're going to, keep an eye on. But I'll give you some updates, as of when I hear, any more news on that. The other bit of news comes out from the Metro, and they're reporting that one of my favourite midfielders during the 2000s period is Emmanuel Petit, and he's saying that he fears for Unai Emery. Why? Because he said that he was eaten alive by the PSG players. Now, I have not seen too much of the French League matches. But with PSG, I do know they've got quite a lot of high-profile characters. And you might say that they are divas. Neymar, Cavani, Thiago, just to name but a few. But what Emmanuel Petit is saying is that he did not have the backing or support of the board when he was at PSG, and it was player power, that got to the point where he left, and he saw the guy literally on the line, literally just disappointed because he was like a toothless tiger. But what I'm alluding to is, I can't see that going to happen. That's not going to happen at Arsenal, where you've got players, literally, the player power. Unai Emery will have the full support of the board, the full support of this guy, Sven Mislintat, who's brought in his players, or who's bringing in his players. Who are these players, think that they are? Of course, if it if it's not for the fans, these players will be absolute nothing. So I don't care, who you are, how much money you earn, how many goals you score. No player, absolutely no player is bigger than a football club. No player. But yeah, Manny Petit, I'm gonna just quickly see, if I can quote what he's saying here. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm happy to have Unai Emery, at the Emirates, but yeah, no, disgusting. So Emmanuel Petit is saying that the players must believe in him, talking about the Arsenal players, and follow his instructions. But I'm not sure that will happen. He was unable to do that at Paris Saint-Germain because of the egos in the dressing room. I can understand that part. He was being eaten by the players and he didn't have the personality to be the leader. Again, no. The manager or the coach gives the instructions to the players, not the other way around. But I'm pretty sure that Unai Emery, and his revolution will snuff at any player who thinks that they're bigger than the club. But again, that's going to be one bit of news that I'm going to follow. Once the players do actually sign for Arsenal, and let's see how they perform. Just an addendum, I saw this morning, I'm not going to mention the channel, but this YouTuber was saying that the current crop of players should be allowed to be picked by Unai Emery and prove themselves. Hell, you know what? You guys had enough time to prove yourselves under Arsene Wenger, and last season was a complete disaster where we saw players weren't performing, didn't want to perform, and they were saying, oh, you know what, we're backing the manager. So, no, I'm sorry, you had your chance. Let Unai Emery do his thing, and if they think they need to get rid of the players, get rid of the players. Again, I'm alluding to the fact that this is Unai Emery's Red Army Revolution, or Sven Mislintat's, Borussia Dortmund Revolution. But, either end, nah. The players in the Arsenal squad, you've had your chance. And my personal point of view is get rid of half of the squad and bring in a new set of players. Which leads me on to one player that I'm going to feature in this section of Cannon Fodder. He goes by the name of Sakris Papastathopolous. So, I've tried my best anyway. So, Sakris Papastathopolous. Now, he currently plays for Borussia Dortmund. They nickname him the Greek Warrior. He's 29 years old. He's a defender. And what I've seen of this guy, he's not scared to put his foot in. And he's got really, really, really good, recovery speed. So even though the attackers probably got a yard on him, this guy has got some serious speed, man. And he looks very, very comfortable on the ball. So again, this is a player, who worked with Sven Mislintat, at his time at Borussia Dortmund. Again, he's 29 years old. Yeah, if we can get this guy in, if we can get this player in, then yeah, we're on the road to, positivity. Now, he's not, the world-class defender that from what I've seen on the snippets on the internet there. But our famous back four, which was brought in by Jules Graham, individually, they weren't, world beaters, but as a unit, they were one of the best, defence there that we had at Arsenal. So these are little pieces of the jigsaw that Unai Emery and Sven Mislintat need to put together. The only thing I would say is that we are still missing an out-and-out captain. We need a captain. So I don't know, what these guys are looking for. And I'm sure, we're going to find out pretty soon who's going to be signing. I mean, they are saying that this guy, Papastathopolous, is potentially going to be the first signing made by Unai Emery. So you know what? Roll on Unai Emery's, Red Army Revolution. But until then, this has been cannon fodder, the transfer channel for giving you news about players coming in and out of Arsenal. And tomorrow I'm going to mention for the last time that we're going to be doing our third Easy Talk live stream. We're going to have Adam from Route 1 online, and we're going to have little Maisie, and we're also going to have Raz. So until then, you have been watching Cannon Fodder.